So what we're going to be doing this month, this final month, is it is a shorter month. You probably notice as we get closer to the final months, it gets shorter. And when I say shorter, it's just like there's just less that needs to be said, you know. And it doesn't mean you're getting less out of it or taking less away, because I'm sure you feel the impact is just as great whether we spoke for 4.5, 5 hours, or we spoke for 2 hours. So you know it's just as you get closer to realization of truth. When you get to truth, there's just nothing to say. There's nothing to be said. There's nothing more to say. You know, that's what it feels like. And this final month is going to be picking up on what we spoke about last month, and it's very fitting. Before I let you out into the world, if you like, of course you're in the world, you're of the world, but before you take this path further on your own, and you don't have to. I'm always here. If you ever want to do OMG online, you could always continue and do OMG online. Some of you are already on OMG online. You do the live and the online. You could always do retreats. You could always get one-on-one consulting from me if you ever wanted one-on-one consulting. You can get consulting from Jamie if you want. He's done 2 or 3 OMGs now. So, but really, it's about trusting yourself and trusting your journey in what you do after here. So, last month we spoke about time, space, and the now, and this month we're talking about truth and the journey to infinity. That's what this month is about. So it's a continuation of last month, because I really want to hit home about the journey aspect of your path. The journey aspect, not just of your path, but the journey aspect of your everyday life. The journey aspect of how you experience your life. So that's going to be a lot about what we're going to be speaking about this month, and a lot of what's going to be this month. Today is going to consist of you guys. This is where you get to share. Every single one of you will have a moment to share what your last 12 months has meant for you, or what your experience has been like. So we'll do that later on this afternoon. Later on today, I'm also going to cover, the different experiences of truth that you have on your journey. And, we in the past, I've spoken about going through different phases of consciousness, if you like. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So I'm going to be talking about that. And you will pick up where you're at and go, I can feel I'm there. And so I'll just leave you with that by the end of the day to give you a reference point of a little bit of a guideline as you go on into your journey. You can go, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Later on, you go, I remember Amir spoke about that's what it feels like. I feel like that now. This is what it feels like. So I'll be talking about that as well. But before I even talk about that, and that's what this month is about, is the journey to infinity, truth, the journey to infinity. Let's first talk about this word, the journey. We spoke a little bit about it last month when we spoke about time, space, and the now. The journey came up. Does everyone remember that? Who remembers that? No? Who wasn't here last month? Just so I can get. Okay, cool. Who's heard that the destination is not important? Life is about the journey, it's not about the destination. Okay, everyone's heard that, right? And one of the first things I want you to realize is that applies to truth as well. And rather than just understanding that my intention today is for you to feel that truth in your hearts, because that is the biggest thing that will continue to free you and will allow you and support you to keep coming back and allow you to experience the now. It's your idealism of the outcome, the results, that continues to take you away from this moment, continues to take you away from love, continues to take you away from infinite possibilities. Okay, so what I want to do is explore this idea, the journey, and if I can just leave you with a direct experience or with a deeper knowing rather than understanding of what that actually means, I think my job in OMG is completed. Okay, so let's start with that. Recently, just 2 weeks ago, we just did the retreat, and I spoke a little bit about this at the retreat, and so I want to pick up from there and share a little bit about what I talked about in regards to the journey. The future, an outcome, a result, or a destination has a role in the story. So don't try to disregard it and go, it's not about the future, it's not about the outcome, it's not about the result. Yes, you're right. But usually so many people are saying that from an understanding point of view, right? Yes, it's not about the future. Yes, it's not about the outcome. Yes, it's not about the results. Yes, it's not about the destination. However, the destination, the results, or the outcome does and do play a role in how you're experiencing your story. It's not about it, but it does play a role. And this is what I want you to understand. And I would like to give you as many reference points as I can right now to allow you to understand or to know this at a deeper level before you walk away from today. If a football team, well, let's look at the OMG. We'll come back to football. I like talking about football. If this was your final OMG, which it is, right? But imagine we go back to your first OMG, the very first OMG. Imagine you came into that very first OMG and said, I just want to get to the 12th month of OMG. There's a movie called Click. Anyone seen the movie Click? It's with Adam Sandler. And he gets this remote control, that's a magic remote control, and he forwards all the boring parts of his life, right? Just to arrive at the outcome or the result or the destination. So he's fast forwarding. Finally, he gets to realize he's getting to realize all these outcome or the destination, but without the journey and the experiences of arriving at that outcome, the destination, he lost meaning and it didn't mean what he thought it meant. In other words, he realized that he had been missing out on a lot. Does that make sense? You see, the outcome and the destination and the result is important because it allows you to experience the journey, allows you to have a connection with the journey. And I'll elaborate on that in a moment. So I get continually a lot of people, in particular who watch OMG online, email us and go, can you just give me access for the 12 months? And we don't give them access. It's designed for you to do it month by month. You guys don't ask me, can we just do the 12 months in 12 days? Because I'm meeting once a month with you guys. But online, they know I have the 12 months. 12 months is completed now. It's completed. Can you just give me access for the 12 months? right? Why do they want access for the 12 months? Because they're really super keen to arrive at the outcome. So therefore, they make it about the outcome, about the destination. But really, I want them to integrate every single month. Really, I want them to listen to the webinars that comes with the online program. Really, I want them to process and be able to, experience what I'm actually saying for that month, and for them to ponder on it before they actually move on to the next month. So imagine you guys came here for your very first month of OMG, and you said to me, let's just fast forward, and you had this remote control, right? And you went, here you are, month 12. And you're like, all right, now I can have the answer. Now I can arrive at the outcome or the results. But you missed out on all the month 2 to 10, 11. Can you see what I'm saying? You have to experience all those months for this to be a sense of completion, for this to be like, okay, this is what I've taken away from this 12 months. Even if I can use that as an example. But let's go back to football, right? If the Roosters, the Sydney Roosters played Manly, sorry to bring it up again, John, but they played the grand final. John's going to come. He's having memories. But if they played the grand final, I know it was a long time ago, it was a couple months ago, but they played the grand final and they beat Manly. But the reason why that outcome or result meant so much was because of everything they have experienced along the journey before arriving at that point. Can you see? From having that childhood dream to, having all the different processes and experiences of getting into first grade, to pre-season training, to all the games and all the difficulties and all the things that they put their body through, and the strict diet and the strict training and everything that they went through for that entire year, to the, a game day on grand final. It wouldn't have meant so much unless they had experienced everything. So what I'm trying to get you to realize is that it's actually not about the outcome, the destination and result. However, the outcome and the destination and the result do and does play a role in the journey. It's all part of the same. Because without having, give you another angle of the grand final, if these two teams went to play in the grand final and everyone went, hey, it doesn't matter who wins, don't worry about the outcome, right? The level of intensity, or if you might use that word, connection, that they will have, that will ignite within themselves, that they will have with playing the game, would be almost diffused, because it doesn't matter now. So can you see? There is a point to having someone win. There is a point to the outcome or the result. In other words, there is a role that the outcome, the result, or the destination plays. Okay? It makes the journey more intense. It makes the journey more in depth. It makes the journey more real. Can you see what I'm saying? It's still about the journey. It's still about the moment. It's not about the outcome. It's not about winning. But the winning ignites the journey. It lights a flame in the journey. It lights a flame, a fire inside of you. Can you see what I'm saying?
So you're saying...
Hang on. Do you have a question?
No.
Hey?
Not really.
I just need the microphone.
Theme.
I need you to use the microphone. Thank you. Did you turn it on?
So what you're saying is, if the Roosters won every game, it would be quite boring, wouldn't it? Is that what you're saying? If they didn't have to go through all the trials and tribulations and everything, and...
I'm not saying... I'm
the winning
saying,
is sweet, but it's sweeter if it takes more journey to get there. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
It's a bit like watching Formula One and Sebastian Vettel wins every race.
My point is not about with them winning every game. My point is about what they have to go through to win every game.
Precisely,
because if the Roosters won every single year for the next 10 years, it's not about, would that be boring? No. If they didn't have to go through what they need to go through to win every single game for the next 10 years, that's when it's boring. Because if they know that every single time they push the envelope, every single time, like what they had to go through, you know, the punishment or the, you know, I'll use the word punishment, but the, you know, the commitment, you know, if that got greater and greater, no, it's not boring. And they win every year, that's not boring. That's why some teams do that. In you know, you look at in the soccer, there's teams who just win all the time. So thanks for the question. You guys know I recently started flying again after 16 years. And I may have mentioned this to you in a previous OMG. And when I first started flying, my instructor looked at my logbooks and he was calculating and trying to help me determine how many hours or how much training or how much money that I need to put in to get to a point of where I was and to go further and actually get my license, right? So he's like, oh, you're probably going to need this many hours. You're going to put, and I said to him, you know what? It doesn't matter how many hours it's going to need because I love flying. That's what I love doing. Okay? Now, yes, there is a result, a goal, if you like. There is a result, there is a destination, there is an outcome. And that destination and outcome is that I get my license and I can fly alone or take friends out or family. Can you see? Yes. But it's not about the license. It's about the flying. So I'm saying whether you're sitting next to me or you're not, and by the way, yesterday was the first time he completely wasn't and I went by myself, but it doesn't make a difference because I'm still flying. Whether you're sitting next to me or not, you're not flying the plane, I'm flying the plane. Can you see what I'm saying? So it's not about the license. But the license or getting a license is what ignites this journey. It's what creates this journey for me to be able to take on, which is in this journey, I'm flying a plane. But the love is to fly a plane. The love is not about the outcome. But can you see the outcome still plays a role? If there wasn't an outcome, like you get a license at the end of it, there's something missing from the journey here. You know, sure, I would still love flying planes, but it's the outcome that gives me this direction that I'm going. Now let's talk about where does this outcome come from? Yes? Well, we've spoken about it all year. All year. The feeling arises from within you. And you go, oh, I love to fly. You look into the story and go, oh, I can get my pilot license. Outcome. Can you see what I'm saying? But again, it's not a goal I set. It's not, I'm bored. Oh, I need to consume some time doing something because I don't want to be bored. Okay, I'll go fly planes. Can you see? It's not like I'm sitting here going, well, I've got so much time. Maybe I should get involved in pottery. You know, although some that wouldn't excite me, or learn how to put flowers together, you know, or make wedding dresses. And that's not. Can you see? It's a different feeling. It's my music, right? I didn't choose the music. The music found me, and in the story, I have a story of why that I chose that story. Because when I was young, my dad was in aviation. My dad used to take me to work when I was like 4 years old and he used to give me to the pilot. The pilot used to put me in the cockpit. He used to take me flying around and do his whole routes and then come back at the end of the day and give me back to my dad. So then I think, that's why I love flying. I created the story to put that seed in for me to go, hey, I love flying. Can you see what I'm saying? The feeling came, I love flying. So, go back to previous OMGs. A feeling arises within me and goes, it beats. What I'm talking about here is, it makes my heart beat. It makes my heart sing. It makes my heart dance. Oh, I love to fly, right? Now check this out. The feeling just is here saying, I love to fly. As we know, if you haven't done OMG, all right, the person then goes, whoa, what do I need to do in order for me to go fly? How much money is it going to take? How much time is it going to take? What plan do I need to, what strategy do I have to ensure that I can do, can I do this? Well, maybe I'm not medically fit. You know, there's all these things over here, right? But someone who is on this path doesn't go here to have a reference point. I then choose to follow the decision that's already made. We've spoken about that previously. I choose to follow the decision that's already made. This, watch what happens then. Then the feeling, part of the feeling, so the feeling that I'm feeling, gets released and becomes and goes into the outcome, the results. The moment I decide to follow the feeling, the moment I decide to follow or the moment I decide to follow the decision that's already made, it goes into two: duality, story, outcome, result. Only. So therefore, I can experience the journey in becoming one with that feeling again. Do you understand? So what's the journey? The journey is, I need to do some flight training. There is purpose to my flight training. Why is there purpose? Because it's heading me to this point. But if I didn't go through all the different, like I just realized yesterday that I did my logbooks, I've got over 50 hours of training now. 50 hours. If I just arrived at, let's say I'll probably get my license at 70 hours, 60, 70 hours. If I just arrived at, let's say I went to my instructor at the beginning and said, hey, look, how about I give you $10,000 and bribe him? Can you just give me the license and sign off on it? And he's like, okay, right? I didn't do that, but can you imagine I did that, right? And he gave me a license. When I fly the plane, it won't feel what it can feel and what it can mean. I won't feel the love and the appreciation to the degree that I could if I had to go and do 60 hours of training and in the story pay thousands of dollars in doing this and making mistakes and getting it wrong and getting it right and having moments of success and accomplishment along the way, having positives and negatives. So if I just went, hey, here's $10,000 and he stamps my book and goes, all right, you got your license, right? First of all, I might not feel comfortable, but let's just say I was feeling comfortable. It wouldn't be, I'll probably start flying and like 2 weeks later go, I'm bored with this. Can you see what I'm saying? So it's not about the pilot license, but getting the pilot license is, and then I start my journey. It's about the journey. The reason you have this ideal of getting a pilot license is so you can experience the journey. Who's got friends that love to tell them what happens in a movie? Can you imagine there's this great movie, the Titanic has come out and your friend goes, oh, at the end, they die. The ship goes down and da-da-da. You're like, don't. Oh, why? I mean, you want to, it's all about the outcome and the result. You want to know what happens at the end, don't you? Yes, I do. The end is important. But I want to experience the journey. You took my fucking journey away. Do you understand? Can you imagine we went to the football and the Roosters and Manly are going to play the grand final, and me and John are there, we've got our colours on, we're ready to go, and they go, Roosters won 24-14 or whatever it was. Even though Manly lost, John would go, no, I want to experience how they lost. Will you be disappointed about the loss? Yes, but it's not can you see? Will you be disappointed about the loss? Yes. But it's not about the outcome and losing. It's about me experiencing how they lost. So can you see? It's not about the outcome. And you and we and people continuously place their attention on the future, on the outcome, on the result, on the destination, when the outcome, the destination, and the result do play a role, and they do. It's what ignites your journey. It's what ignites your path. It does play a role. So it's not completely irrelevant. But once it's played its role is to go, that's the future. But it becomes irrelevant almost when you're doing what you love to do in this moment. I talk about this in Intuitive Warrior, and I say to people, who's ever experienced the moment where they have arrived at a goal or a destination, and the moment they arrived at the goal or the destination, they feel empty, and they have thoughts like, is that all? Is that all? I thought I was going to be arriving, right? And everyone puts their hand up, they go, yeah, I've had moments like that. Well, what do you think that is? That is the person saying, yes, I want to do this, right? They place their attention in the future, in the result, in the outcome, in the destination, and they stay there. So everything they're doing in this moment, they're not here. They're doing things in this moment, but their attention's there. So there's duality happening here. The attention's always here. The attention's always here. By the time they get here, they're like, why do I feel like I haven't accomplished anything? Because you missed out. You fast forward the remote control. You weren't there in the journey. On the flip side, and I talk about this in the Intuitive Warrior, on the flip side, I said, who's ever had a goal, an outcome, a result, a destination that they were really looking forward to, right? But the moment they decided to do it, they already feel the love or the sense of fulfillment that one would have in accomplishing that. And everyone goes, yeah, I've experienced that. Well, what's the difference? The difference is you said yes to the feeling, to the outcome, to the destination, to the result. Yes, it created duality. It created this story for you, this path for you to take. But you didn't stay in the future. You came back here. You placed your attention here. And you moved forward towards the outcome, towards winning the grand final, towards whatever it is, becoming a pilot. And because you were here, you already felt one with there. Because when you are here, you are one with the past and the future. There is no past or future. In here, you're already one with it. So the person feels as though it's already done. And they're already feeling the sense of fulfillment one would feel when it's done. You see, it's about the journey. The future, the outcome does play a role. But you let that go. You come back here. And when you're here, you're feeling a sense of fulfillment. Like you go back to the football teams. You even see in sports, you even see in businesses, people who are high up in the businesses or who have some kind of wisdom in the sporting or like the coach of a football team, the media will always go, well, do you guys, 6 weeks out from the grand final, do you guys think you're going to make the grand final? It's like, well, we just got this game and we're focusing on this game right now. What are they doing? They know. They need to, we play for now. Yes, we want to be in the grand final, but that's the future. Yes, I want to pay this bill, but that's the future. You come now. Because that's what it's about. That's why you have this outcome or result. So this path gets laid out, so then you can experience the path. But some people, whoosh, and they stay here. And the whole way they feel like, if I can just get there, it will be sorted. If I can, and they finally get there. If they do, they finally get there and they go, is that all? I feel empty. Yeah, because you left the whole experience behind. You were never there. Every part of the experience, your attention was here. So when you got here, you still feel empty. So then you look for the next goal, the next thing. You see, it's not about the future. It's not about the outcome. This idea, this ideal of the outcome, the result that they're saying, if you can let go of that, you are free. Yes, it plays a role. I want you to see the role it plays. Don't be in denial. It plays. Yes, if the two football teams go to play and they go, well, the outcome's not important, guys. Let's just play football. Well, you can't. Like, there's a purpose of the outcome. But the team that can go, yes, we want to win, but we are focusing on this moment now. We play what's in front of us. When the two teams that go out, when the team that stays in the moment. In the Manly and the Roosters game, Manly, you remember that, Pato? Manly, he's a big Manly fan as well, except he was watching the game with me. I feel sorry for him. Manly were winning by like 8 points, I think it was. Like, you guys don't understand, like these two teams, they're usually only 4 points apart. So to be winning by 8 points, you would think, like, if the Roosters started to think, how are we going to get 2 tries? I mean, let alone 1. But they don't. You just focus on now. The Manly players might have even thought like that. I even saw an interview where one of the guys thought we had. He said, "I thought we thought we had it done." They said that because they were like, and you can see because in the story, these two teams, last time they played, the score was 4-0. Like, if you're that much ahead, it's done. So the player starts going, we thought we had it done. And then the Roosters scored 1, 2 more tries, or 3 even, I think it was. Like, but in the story, in the history of these two teams, they don't have that many tries against them. Sorry to speak about football, but you can grasp what I'm saying. Change the football to anything. One team went in the story and goes, I thought we had it done. Because the story says that whatever. That there shouldn't be, that, you know, if we're winning by 2 tries, we should win. We should win from here. So what does that mean? Their attention goes on the outcome. What's the outcome? We've won. We've got this. We've got this. What is it? That's the result. Now, if the Roosters were like, we've lost this, you know, teams, you've seen teams get desperate. You've seen people get desperate. But I can promise you, you know, they must have stayed in the moment. And let's just play for now. Play for now. It's the team that that's mostly in the now that will create the flow. What is the flow? That is in the most infinite possibilities. Imagine, some of you got kids, some of you don't, but one of the things that you love about starting families, I mean, why do most people start families? And after you start a family, what is it that you want for your children? You know, you want to be there and experience everything that comes with having that child. From waking you up in the middle of the night, to changing their nappies, to being there on their first steps, to being there when they fell over and bruised their knee, when they needed stitches, when they broke a hand, when they had their first kiss, when they, you know, can you imagine that all the things that we have? I mean, one of the outcomes or the results or the destination, I guess you want as a parent, is for one day you see your child graduating. You know, one day you see your child being happy and successful in doing what they love to do. in one day you seeing your child having their own family. Being there one day to maybe see your child getting married. I mean, that is the outcome of this destination. Now, can you imagine you got pregnant and you didn't go through, let's say if you're a female that is, and you didn't even go through, you know, all the things that women go through in holding this child within you for 9 months. All the discomfort, all the pain. Can you imagine you didn't go through that? Can you imagine you were the husband and you weren't there to, you know, get slapped around by your wife because she's getting, you know, what do they say, hormones? Hormonal? That's what happens, right? Is it? Or am I just being... No, not sometimes. Yes, yeah. The guys say yes it is. The women say sometimes. So, but can you imagine you didn't go through when they had their first walk? Can you imagine you didn't experience what they experienced, and then suddenly you're there watching them getting graduated, and you're like, or you're suddenly watching them get married, or you're there the child of giving birth to their first child. Can you imagine you're there? What would that mean? It'd be like just entering into the cinema to watch a movie, and you came halfway through and you're like, what happened? What's going on there? Who's that? That's your granddaughter. Oh. You missed out all the story. And when I say all the story, you missed out all the moments of the story, which is what matters. It's not the story itself, it's the moments. It's the moments that you have in the story. Can you feel what I'm saying to you? You don't want the outcome. You don't want the result. You don't want to come to the destination. You want to experience the path, what unfolds, the journey that takes place on the way to that outcome, result, or destination. However, the outcome, the destination, the results do play a role, because without the outcome, destination, and result, there would be no journey for you to experience. There would be no path for you to walk down. Can you see what I'm saying? I'm sharing this with you for one reason. Because it is the same. The same experience when you're on the path of truth. There is nothing more rewarding than coming to realize who you are. There is nothing more rewarding than experiencing the path of truth. Nothing. Think about all the different experiences you're going to have in your life, or you had in your life. Think about all the disappointments, the rewards, the appreciation. That nothing comes to this degree of appreciation, of love, of joy that you experience when you're on the path of truth. So, if you think about all the different things that you have processed on your path for the most rewarding thing, like, for example, winning the grand final, for example, giving birth to a child, for example, whatever it may be, falling in love. Falling in love wouldn't mean so much. You wouldn't experience it the way you were experiencing it without being rejected by love. It's being rejected by love that opened you up to love. So the rejection part is important. It's an important part of your journey. I'm saying this because most people, whether you're on month 1 of OMG or you've now completed 12 months of OMG, are looking to make the truth into an outcome destination, a destination, I should say. I just want to arrive there. Do you know when you will arrive Because there is a point where you will feel like, you know, I have arrived. Do you know when you arrive? When you realize that you were always there. That's when you realize, what I've been looking for was right in front of me, was underneath my nose. I was breathing it. I've always had it. It's always been with me. It's always been me. However, in order to arrive there, it's about the journey. It's about experiencing and the level of appreciation. When you imagine, like, you're looking for a treasure, you're treasure hunting, and you're looking for this thing. It's deep in the ocean somewhere. It's a ship, you know, and you're just driven to find this treasure. If you went, all right, let's go treasure hunting, and you found it straight away, awesome. How far? If it took you 7 years to find this treasure, the moment you find the treasure, you'd really experience the appreciation of the treasure. You have to experience your journey and experience your processes that come along in the journey to arrive at the point of realizing that you had always been there and what you were looking for was yourself. And it was always looking back straight at you. That's when you realize, I've arrived. Now, I'm going to talk later on this afternoon about the transition points that you'll go through. So one of the things you realize is that, I might save that for later on, just so I can make sure that I've got you to at least feel the truth that it is not about the outcome, the result, destination. Yes, it does play a role. It plays a role to fire or light up this path. But your attention is about the reason why you lit up the path is so you can experience the path. People think they lit up the path so I can walk the path. No, it's to stop and smell the roses along the path. You're walking down the path to smell the roses. You never walk the path to arrive somewhere. I talk about this in the WTF experience. I say who you truly are is actually really enjoying this process of losing itself and then going down this journey of rediscovering itself. It doesn't want to lose itself and then a moment later go, boop, here I am. This is who I am. This is what I've been looking for. Why does it want to do that? Because it's about the journey. It's about the process. It's about the unfolding of yourself. Just like when I refer to in the WTF, if you're having a $200 steak or an $80 mushroom or tofu, whichever ones you fancy, or a $400 bottle of wine, you're not going to scold it, are you, Nano? You're going to scold the 400, or maybe you would. You're not going to scold the wine. You want to sip and enjoy it, and really taste the textures, and yeah, I can really taste this, or even if you're eating the steak or a really nice, expensive meal that there's been so much that's this whole cow has gone through this whole process of whatever. The chef has done this, and the ingredients have been grown this way, and this is a $200 meal. You're not going to just go eat it like a $10 hamburger. You actually want to really taste it. That's what it's like. So what I'm trying to say to you is who you truly are is really want to taste and really wants to experience the burger. It's not about finishing the burger, although that is the outcome, that is the result. The result is to finish your meal. Why? Because you're hungry. So the role, the outcome or the destination is important because it's about eating so you're no longer hungry. So you're fulfilled. But the fulfillment comes from the tasting of the food. The fulfillment comes from how you are processing your food. That's where it comes from. It's not about the outcome, although the outcome plays a role. It's important. The destination plays a role. It's important. Because without the destination, the result or the outcome, you wouldn't have the journey. But once you have this outcome, destination, role, now you can experience the journey. Now I'm just flying the planes. And I feel like I've already arrived. When you feel like you've already arrived, why do you feel like you've already arrived? Because you're one with this moment, which means you're one with the outcome and destination. So you feel like there's no attachment to arriving there. You feel a deep connection to the outcome, and therefore you feel like it's already done, Eckhart. It's already done. Don't mistaken connection with attachment. Attachment is what you have when your attention is on form. Connection is what you have when your attention is on the formless. You connect to the formless, you get attached to the form. Sometimes people get attached to the result or to their partners, for example. The attachment is the identity, it's the physical. The connection is the formless. It's your soul connecting, which is formless, to their soul, which is formless. Soul, change that word to energy. My energy is feeling her energy, which is the one energy. I feel connected to her or him or whatever. Questions, comments, contributions? Could you guys at least feel what I'm saying at least a level that you can grasp and go, yeah, and there's a drop in for you to realize, I've never been here for the outcome. I've never been here for the destination. That realization will free you on your path, for you to experience your path. To experience it for what it is. It's one of the biggest pieces. Someone cannot arrive on the path of truth, or whatever their path, when they are starting their path of truth to arrive here. The reason why you want to arrive here is because you're in judgment of what is here. You don't want to have this. And what I'm saying to you is, no, you came here to experience this. You're just labeling it as positive and negative and not seeing it for what it is. So therefore you're going, well, if I have this outcome, which is arrive at the truth and realize the truth, then I can fix, improve, or change, or this. I won't have to this. But this is the very thing that you wanted. It's part of your journey. And yes, it may be difficult sometimes. Yes, it may be uncomfortable sometimes. But you resisting it is what causes suffering. The journey is the journey. It is what it is. Suffering is you just resisting your journey. That's the optional part. Not everybody suffers. But when the football team is training, or when an athlete is training, and they're getting up at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning or whatever time they get up to go swimming every morning, is that difficult? Yes, it is. But if they were resisting the difficulty, it causes them to suffer. But if they didn't go through all those processes, the destination wouldn't mean anything anyway. Imagine like suddenly, no, you've just won the gold medal for high jump. If you didn't go through the training, it'll be like, yeah, woohoo. He didn't want to. It doesn't. It's not. And it's not even about getting the gold medal. It's about what he went through to get to that point. And that's why when someone was really one with what they went through, they were present, they were really in the moment to arrive at that point. Even if they got the bronze, or even if they came last, they already feel fulfilled. And they're like, I'm okay with that. The reason they're okay with it is because they were there in the moment. But the person who wasn't there in the moment and was completely gold medal, gold medal, gold medal, if they didn't achieve the gold medal, my God, their life is over. If they did achieve the gold medal, their life is still over. Honestly. Because after that, they're like, what am I meant to do now? They don't know what to do. Once they retire, some of those sporting athletes have to go see psychiatrists and stuff because they don't know what to do now. Because they missed out on the journey. The whole time, the gold medal, gold medal. Questions, comments, contributions? Let's give it to Boyd.
So sometimes when you have that feeling come up and you say yes, or you accept, or whatever you say, you choose to go with that feeling. That's okay in the moment, but then at times, I don't know, like if I think of my business, there's at times where you've got a time frame to do things. So when there's a time frame to do things, and
so the time frame to do things is what creates the depth of connection that you're going to have with that moment. So the time frame to do things is the outcome. All right? It's just a role it's playing to give you an outcome, right? Which then infuses the creativity, all right? And as long as you stay in the moment, it's exactly what I've just been describing. You have this outcome, and then you stay in the moment, stay in the moment, stay in the moment, and do everything as it comes, moment by moment, moment by moment, moment. Anyone in corporate training will train their people. Yes, you've got all these things to do, but you do them one at a time. One at a time, moment by moment, moment by moment, moment by moment. And then you arrive there and you experience everything that you experience on your path. It's the same. The time frame creates an outcome. Is it about the outcome? No. It's about moment by moment. It's exactly the same. What's different from what you just asked to everything I've been just explaining? It's exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the time. Like, say for instance, like Truth of the Day or Gaz's daily things. She's got to get in that moment every day, or you've got to get in that moment when you do those. Yeah, I guess, all right, yeah.
Using your creativity, I understand people who are creative, whether it's business creativity, art creativity, writing creativity, whatever form of creativity, which is what the feeling is. The feeling arrives in a form of creativity. If there is a story that comes and says it's due by this, right? As long as I stay in the moment and not place my attention, like I said, it's due by the end of the week,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what allows my creativity to come. I go, oh, Monica says you got to do some Truth of the Days. Like she already just said to me, I've run out of Truth of the Days, you need some more by next Monday, right? Great. So the moment I have some time and space, which probably be over the weekend or even on Monday, right? The creativity's there. Yeah, but I don't go and stay in the future and go, oh my God, I've got to do that by Monday. And then today thinking, oh, I've got to do that by Monday. I haven't even thought about it again. In fact, I don't even know, was it Monday that you needed to buy? It is Monday. Okay? You know, and when I'm not staying in the future and going, oh my God, I need that by Monday, I'm not worried about missing out by Monday either. When a person's thinking, I need that by Monday, and the reason you keep thinking about it all the time because you're worried about it not being done. So I don't think that.
Yeah, so that's exactly the same as
and
like
at the end
what
of
you
the
were
day, you know, creativity is there on tap.
Yeah.
It's there on tap. Some people go, oh, just sometimes I've had a writer's block. It's just because you're thinking about what to write. You're thinking about not, you know, missing out on the outcome. You're thinking about not missing out on the deadline. It's just there's a thinking process. I have creativity on freaking tap. I don't look at this whole 12-month OMG program. You know, I knew what I was going to say month 1. I didn't know what I was going to say month 2. It was only in month 10 or 9 that I knew what month 10, 11, and 12 were. I never knew in that chunk. I just knew month by month. I mean, do you think if I was ever thinking about this, I would have gone, am I even going to have 12 months of content? 12 months of something to speak about? Seriously. Like, I don't even have that thought because that part of me is just, it's like a little dog, you know. It's not that it's not there. It's tamed. It's not this big dog, and I'm like, whoo. It's a little dog goes, fuff, 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 and I'm like, oh, you little, and it's tamed. Like, come here, sit, and it sits. I'm talking about my ego. So, you know, like, honestly, like if the whole 12 months, if that voice, see, I even saying I didn't even think that. But the voice thought that. But I'm just noticing how I'm explaining to you. But that voice isn't me. So I didn't think that. The voice went, well, you know, come up to month 6. I'm like, yeah, are you really sure we're going to, you know, maybe we'll just make this 6 months, you know? Like, it's like, come here, sit down. Seriously, it's infinite. If I wanted to do 24 months, it would be 24 months.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, that time frame I'm talking about is no different to, like you're saying, the win.
It's exactly
and
the
as soon
same.
as you take your focus off that win and just connect.
Is the time frame important? Yes. Is the winning important? Yes. Only to play a role.
Yeah.
Only to set the path. Path set. Now experience the path. Go down the path. Smell the roses. And then you feel like that's when people feel like they're one with the outcome, and then they go, I just know it's done. And you're like, how do you know? You're going to get that done in time? You're like, it's done. And they're like, how do you know it's done? You're like, I don't know, I just feel it. You know why you feel it? Because you're one with it. How are you one with it? Because you're in the moment.